Hello and good morning children. I welcome you all again to our session of grammar today. Now you know that earlier we had already studied pronouns few kinds, and there were 5 kinds like personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, interrogative pronoun and reflexive pronoun. So 5 kinds we had already discussed, and now the other 3 are still left. So first let's discuss distributive pronoun. You should know the meaning of distributive. The word distribute, from this word distribute, distributive has come. Okay. Now for distributive pronouns you should remember 3 words, that is each, either and neither. For each, either, neither, see the meaning. Each means each and every. Like if there are 5 children in the class, so each and every child helped the teacher to pick the books. So nobody was left, everybody helped. Either. This is in terms of 2 only. Suppose if there are 2 students, so either of the students help the teacher. Means this student helped or the other student helped. So it means only one of them helped. If I say neither, so neither n, see the meaning goes in negative. Neither, again 2, neither of the child helped means no one helped. I can write here sentences also. Let's write like each child helped his mother during the COVID-19. Okay. Either of the child helped their mother during the COVID-19. Then neither of the child must have. Okay. Now here it means that each child helped. Each and every child. Nobody left. Everybody helped. So each child helped. Either of the child. That means only 2. So if either this one also and this one. So it is only in terms of 2. So either the child helped means that means only one child helped. Either this child helped or the other child helped. So only one child helped. Here neither means no one helped. So neither of the child helped. So this you need to understand the meaning each, either, neither. Okay. So in terms of these 3. So this means like distributive pronouns. Again, like each, either, neither, they can also be used as determiners. But how do you come to know about pronouns? That it will be just after this you will find like this word is used for any noun, like each child. I am saying each child. So this is referring to this child. So this is the antecedent of this. Each child, either of the again this is referring to, so either what? Either is used for child. Here also neither is used for, that is why we call them distributive pronouns. Now children, coming to the next is your indefinite pronouns. Now these definite pronouns are referred in a general way to the things or to human beings, to nouns also. It is referred in a general way. General way means like if I say anyone can do this, anyone can write a letter. So anyone means anyone. It is not definite. It is not particular. So it is like anyone. Like if you can also say like here in your example is given, many enjoy traveling. Many enjoy traveling. That means many. Now we don't know how many, it's not fixed. Okay, and then uh, men or women, no. So we don't know any definite. So that means the identity is unknown. In this, the identity is unknown identity. That is why we call them indefinite. Indefinite means which is not particular, no specific thing or no exact thing that is. So indefinite pronouns, and again they refer to any noun, like anyone can write. So who is this anyone? Obviously some person, any child, boy, anyone, but we don't know exactly who is. No particular, whether it's a boy or a girl, man or a lady, we don't know about it. So it is unknown. The identity is unknown. But then also we use this for any human being, for any noun. Okay. Now many, obviously many children, many men, many ladies enjoy traveling, so we can write. So it is understood that anyone or many is used for noun here, but it is not definite. No particular identity is known. That is why we call it indefinite pronouns. Understood? Now let's look at the relative pronouns. The word itself tells you relative means relations. Okay, so this word, it shows the relation between two phrases or clauses. So that means it connects. So I write the words. The relative pronouns are such as who, whose, whom, which, and that also. Now, who we only use for living beings. Like, who is your brother? I can only say who is your brother. That means who we are writing for brother. So, who you only use for human beings. Even whose. Now, it shows the possession. Like, whose name is that. So, whose possession. Whom, to whom the pencil was given. So, whom. Which and that. Now which we only use for non-living things. Which is only used for non-living. That is which pen I gave you yesterday. So which pen. So again. Now that. That you can use for both living and non-living things. So who. Now let me give you one example of a relative pronoun. For example, if we write the boy who is in the blue shirt is my brother. Is my brother. So here, the boy, okay, the boy who is in the blue shirt is my brother. Now who, this word is used for antecedent. So the boy is antecedent of the word whom. All these antecedents you have to remember that in pronouns, whatever the word we are using for the noun, it will come afterwards, after the noun. So here, who. Now who is, we are using this word for the boy. I am not writing who is the boy. I'm not, this is not interrogative word here. Why? Because we are not starting with this word. I'm writing the boy who is in the particular boy who is in the blue shirt, only he is my brother. So who. Okay. For example, another example I can give you is like now why I had written who, because boy is human being. Like read the book which I gave you. Okay. Now which. Why which? Read the book. Just after that we find which. Okay, so this is the antecedent of this word. The book, we are using the which for the book. So this is the antecedent verb. Now why I am writing which? Because the book is non-living thing. So which you only use for non-living thing. Now here that. Where is the word that? Even that you can use for living and non-living both. So for example, instead of this, if I write that, read the book that I gave you, even this is correct. So that is the only word which you can use for living and non-living, whereas which you can only use for non-living. And who you can only use for living, for human being. Whose, possession, it shows possession, like whose book? Give me the book that my brother gave you. So that, the book, this is the antecedent. The book, for non-living thing we are using. Okay, or which also you can write instead of this. If we write which, even this is correct, it's not wrong. Okay, give me the book which. Now let us know what are compound words, because compound words are also relative pronouns. So compound, the word compound, what do you mean by compound? Means it is a mixture of 2 or 3 things. But like for example, lime water, isn't it? So lime plus water, it becomes lime water, isn't it? Now if I mix 2 words, for example, whomsoever, even this is a word. So whom plus soever, whomsoever. Okay, like whoever, has done this, please can leave the class. So whoever, so all these words are whatever you know, please tell me. Okay, what, whatever. So whatever, all these words you can use as, these are compound words. Why compound? Because what plus ever, so whatever. Whom plus soever, whomsoever. Who plus ever, whoever. All these are compound words, because when you join 2 words they make 1 word, and then you call it compound words. So these are compound words. Even they act as very good relative pronouns. Okay, you can see the examples also. Now one more example of relative pronoun is what. Now what we use only for, like I have all the things, I already have what I want. Okay, what, I already have what, things. Here it is used for things, so I already have the things. Okay, what, now here what stands for things. Okay, so we cannot see the antecedent, but it stands for the antecedent, that is things. So I already have what I wanted. This you have to keep in mind. Let us look at relative pronoun placement. Means the position of the relative pronoun, it should be on a correct place. If it is not correctly placed, then the meaning of the sentence is not puzzled out properly. Means you will not understand the meaning of the sentence. You won't understand. It becomes a bit confusing. That is why the placement or the position of the relative pronoun should be correctly placed. Now see, first there are 2 sentences which are given in your book. I have written here and I'll just explain you right now. The thief was caught by the police who stole the diamond. Now this is actually your relative pronoun. But see here, but if you see the meaning, the thief was caught by the police. So you understand here. Till here it is clear to you. But as soon as the relative pronoun comes, who stole the diamond? Who stole the diamond? What? So again we have to refer to this portion, the first portion of the sentence, to understand the meaning of it. Whereas when you look at this sentence, you see the thief who stole. This is your relative pronoun. So the thief who stole the diamond was caught by the police. Now the meaning is clear. You need not refer to back to anything else. The sentence makes you understand clearly. But here in the first sentence, when you read it, the thief was caught by the police. So by the time it is clear to you. But after that, who stole the diamond? Who stole the diamond? What? Then again you have to refer back. The thief was caught by, the thief was caught. So now you understood the meaning. That is why, but it is a wrong way of writing relative pronoun. This is the correct way. That means the relative pronoun should be placed near. Again, antecedent you can see. So this word has replaced this. So it is the antecedent, means it is referred for this thief. This who is said for the thief. So always look for the antecedent. Whereas here it is totally different. Here who refers for the thief, isn't it? But it is so far. So it should not be far, it should be near. Okay, only then it is accurate. So relative pronoun placement, even this is very important for you to know. Now one more is omission. Now let us understand the relative pronouns omission. Means sometimes we can omit relative pronouns also from a sentence. For example, these are the two sentences which are there in your book. You can note down and you can mark there in the book. The person to whom I dedicate this book is my mother. So to whom? This is the prepositions. Okay, preposition. Now same thing. The train by which we often travel is the Rajdhani Express. So by which. Now when these type of sentences are there, you have to see that the person whom. Now here this is relative pronoun and this refers to the person. Same thing here, the train by which refers to the train here. Okay. Now before that you can see these are the prepositions. These are the prepositions. Okay. So you just have to pick this preposition from here and put in front of the nouns. Okay. And you can omit this. So for example, the person, I cut this, the person I dedicate this book to is my mother. Okay, whom you can omit. So this is relative pronoun omission. Same thing here we are going to omit here also. The train by which we often travel. Now here travel is noun. Now travel is not verb there. Here travel is noun. Suffer. Okay, travel. So the train by which we often travel. Again I am going to cross this also, this also. This we are going to shift here after travel. By is the Rajdhani Express. So by this, just by shifting the preposition after the nouns, and you can omit these relative pronouns. This is the sentence. Now after this, one exercise is given there in which you have to do the same thing. Okay. So I'll give you some time to do the exercise. You can do it, and after that I'll give you the solve exercise also. Now lastly, coming to the end, let us see relative pronouns joining sentences. That means relative pronouns are also used for joining two separate sentences. If two separate sentences are given to you, you can join them by using relative pronouns. That means relative pronouns are very good conjunctions also. And therefore, when we are going to study conjunctions, that time again you will have to study relative pronouns. Why? Because relative pronouns are very good conjunctions. They also come in conjunctions. Why? Because they can do the work of joining two separate sentences. Now let us see these two sentences. I have written from your book only, so that you can understand better afterwards also. Now see the first sentence. A boy received a prize for saving a dog. This is one sentence. Second, I want to meet the boy. Okay. Now, if you use relative pronoun, how you are going to write? I want to meet the boy who received a prize for saving a dog. Now, who? Here I am using who for this, a boy. That means I am using who for a noun. So, it is relative pronoun. Why pronoun? Because that pronoun, that word is being used for a noun, that is a boy. That is why it is relative pronoun. So, again let us see. I want to meet the boy who received a prize for saving a dog. This is one. Now, this is my mobile phone. One sentence. This does not work. Second sentence. If I join this is my mobile phone which does not work. Secondly, we can also say this is my mobile phone that does not work. That means I can cancel this and I can write which as well as that. Okay, that means both we can use, which and that. Why? Because which we are using for non-living thing, whereas that can be used for living and non-living both. So both are correct. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Now next is the exercise that you have to solve, and you will be solving the exercises, and then I'll give you the answers of all the solved exercises also.